Hi, and welcome back to my second episode in the series of ChatGPT Plays Civ 6. I'm Runner King, and we're back in this game with Shaka, our leader, and we are just ending our first turn. In the last episode, I explained how this game is going to work. We're going to input prompts into ChatGPT without using any images. That way I can kind of filter the information that goes in, and we can control what the actions are going to be, because I feel like it's going to be a lot. Last turn we moved the warrior, we queued up pottery as our research, and we queued up a scout as our production. For these first 5 turns or so, I'm going to input as much information as I feel like, and we're going to take every action from ChatGPT, and then I'm going to start filtering it because a lot's going to happen. We're going to have lots of actions that we need to be performing, and especially on turns when all we're doing is hitting next turn, I'm not going to input anything. We're just going to hit next turn. We're going to wait till something happens in game, like a decision needs to be made, or I probably won't even do like every single warrior move. I'm probably eventually just going to say, how should I be moving the warrior? What are we searching for? I'm not going to ask it exactly where to move it because it's not going to know without a picture. But I am going to ask it for every time it needs a new production, every time it needs new research in civics, and then if there's anything diplomacy-wise or any other decisions that need to be made, I will ask it for those decisions. And then we're going to judge hard its decisions to see how this game is going to go, and hopefully we can get some funny actions being taken by the AI. So, first things first, we're going to hit next turn. I don't expect much to happen, so the only thing this turn, I believe, we're going to be moving the warrior, so I will ask ChatGPT what the action's going to be. Alright, we're back here in our old thread, and I've queued up this prompt first. Remember to review past information in this prompt thread when making decisions and giving responses. And I'm going to type a bit more about what we want the warrior to do, but I want it to always remember to go back to read through all the information, and hopefully it'll give a more dynamic decision making, because sometimes we are going to want to stop queuing some productions or change our research focus based off new information that happens. And I'll ask it if it wants to do that or not, but we'll see. Alright, so then I added on here on the second turn, warrior needs to move. What should it be focusing on while it moves? Let's see what it'll say. Alright, I'm not going to read everything that it says on here, but you can pause and read through. Basically, what it's saying is it's going through what we've done so far. Here's the warrior's objectives. It wants to first off explore, secure the borders, possibly eliminate barbarian encampments, focusing on meeting city-states and other civilizations. So I think if we see them, I'm going to move towards them. It also talks about some of the more in-depth strategy right here. Prioritizing moving to tiles that provide the best visibility, such as hills or forests. Identifying strategic resources and city locations. Cool. And then it says generally to move towards the cotton to identify potential city sites. And it says to move the warrior towards the cotton, aiming for a tile with hill or elevated terrain. So that's what we're going to do. So moving this warrior towards this new cotton, there's no hills, so I'm probably just going to move it directly onto it, is what it says. Looks like there's a desert down here, but we're going to hit next turn. Alright, so it's moved, and I think again this turn, the only thing that we're going to do is move this warrior. So based off the information that it already gave, we're just going to move the warrior around and hit next turn a bit, just to reveal some of this unknown territory and looking for settling spots around this cotton is what it said. So on this third move, it said to focus on moving to tiles with better visibility. So instead of moving it this way to reveal it this way, it said to move it onto the tile like hills to give it better visibility. And it revealed a tribal village. So I'm probably not even going to ask ChatGPT. I'm just going to hit next turn and move on to that. Oh. Wow, okay. So a lot just happened. First off, we discovered a secret society, Owls of Minerva, and which also gave us a governor's charge, so we're going to use that soon. So we can use it on a governor, or we can have it pick the Owls of Minerva. So we're going to have to go to ChatGPT to help us decide. Looks like we met Taruga, which is a city-state bonus. Pretty good science bonus for becoming the suzerain there. Looks like we got first meets on both of them. We also met Singapore. That gives a pretty good production bonus for trade routes that we have if we're the suzerain. We get these bonuses right now. +1 production in the capital, +1 science in the capital. That's awesome. So that'll help us grow and research faster. So right now we're going to go back to ChatGPT and ask it what to do with all this new information. Alright, so here's my prompt I wrote. At the start of turn 5, the warrior has revealed some surrounding area. On this turn, 2 city-states were met, Taruga and Singapore. The secret society of Owls of Minerva was revealed, giving us a governor title. What action should be taken this turn? Should the governor title be used or saved? If used, what governor? Let's see what it says. So here's what it wants to do. It wants to utilize the governor title, and then it goes over the options. Pingala, Magnus, Amani, or Owls of Minerva. Those are the exact ones that I was thinking about taking. Pingala is really good, Magnus is good, and then Amani for city-states. So recommended governor, Pingala. Powerful leader in the early game, very basic choice, very safe choice. Yeah, just basically maximizing technology and civic bonuses. So it wants us to appoint Pingala in the capital. It wants us to continue moving the warrior, basically just to continue doing what we're doing, revealing stuff. And here's the summary. So appoint Pingala, continue to move the warrior, and then it even says continue building scout and continue researching pottery. So let's do that. Back in the game, we're going to just move the warrior onto the tribal village. Alright, cool, gave us 1 new pop. That's awesome. What's it going to give to us? Probably the best tile. We don't have a great first ring. The second ring's better with the 2-2 here, 2-2. Hopefully we can grow to the diamonds pretty quick. Our pop growth is pretty slow. So is our production. It says it's going to grow to the maze soon, which is good. I would almost rather it move to this one. We do need to get a second city up soon. So as part of my next prompt, I'm going to tell it that our first string of tiles is not great for working citizens in our city, and it will probably just tell me work the best tiles, which I'm already doing. And then I'm going to ask it if it wants me to buy tiles or just let natural tile growth happen, because we need to use our gold. Probably can't afford scouts or monument or anything yet. The only thing we probably could afford soon would be tile purchasing. Here in a couple turns. We probably don't have anything to sell. Well, we can't even, because we haven't met anyone. There's nothing we can really do with the city-states with gold yet. So I guess we'll just keep doing what it said. Let's appoint the governor of Pingala in the capital. It'll take 5 turns to establish. And we'll hit next turn. Okay, I'm just going to keep moving the warrior and exploring based off ChatGPT's instructions. Mostly moving on to hill tiles if they're available, because it said to do that. So instead of moving this direction, I'm going to move on to the hill tile to get more visibility. Okay, start of turn 7. We had a scout appear out of the fog of war, which means a barbarian encampment likely somewhere over here. And even worse, it spotted my city, so it's going to start spawning units to annoy me, basically. So I think it's time for ChatGPT prompt. I'm going to ask it what it wants to do with gold. Ask it if it should continue exploring with the warrior or if it wants to move back for protection. Alright, so here's the next prompt I've written. On turn 7, a barbarian scout appeared on the right side of the city. It spotted the city and now returned to its encampment. What should be done? It will take 4 turns for the warrior to return to the city. I went back to the game and measured how long it would take. What should be done? 40 gold is owned and is growing by 5 each turn. Should it be used? The first string of tiles around the city are weak, and the city is at 2 population. I've basically just told it the basic information about our city and the situation. Hopefully it'll give us an idea of what to do about the scout. Alright, so here's its response. I've read through this and it's actually pretty impressive, but we will need to make another prompt to get clearer and more detailed decisions of what to do now. So basically it just goes over the what's happening right now. Immediate defense by a unit. We don't have the gold for that, But so I'm going to ask it what we should do, if we should wait, and tell it how much it will cost. Warrior movement, it says to return to city. So I'll queue that up. I think I will just queue up the 4 direct return to the city center. City production. Shift production. If the scout being built is nearly completed, let it finish. Otherwise, consider switching production to another military unit if the slinger alone won't suffice. So I'm going to go back and look and see how many turns, and as part of the next prompt, I'll tell it how many turns and then if it wants to switch. So detailed steps, it says buy a slinger. I'll ask it what to do about that based off how much gold we have and how much it will cost. Redirect warrior, I can do that. I'll do that right now. And then production focus. So then it says the next steps: explore and eliminate. After handling the immediate threat, locate the barbarian encampment, and then tile improvement with builders. That's pretty far in the future, but we can do that. Buy a slinger, redirect the warrior, continue production, or switch to a military unit. So back in this game, what we're going to first do is queue up this warrior to head straight back to the city center in 4 turns. Oh, there's 1 turn left on the scout. So we'll probably let that finish, but I'll double check. Then we'll check here to see how long it will take by using production and gold to produce new units. So warrior will take 8, slinger will take 7 turns, and then with gold, slinger's 140. We only have 40. Warrior's 160. We definitely don't have that and won't have that for a while. So I'm going to write another prompt and see what ChatGPT wants to do. Alright, I've written here, the 40 gold is insufficient to buy any units. Slingers cost 140 gold and warriors cost 160. The scout will finish next turn. Should production be shifted now or next turn? So let's see what it says. Alright, given that the gold is insufficient to buy a unit, the scout will finish next turn. Here's a revised strategy. So finish the scout. Since the scout will finish, it's most efficient to complete it. Then shift production to military unit. Then shift production next turn. Switch production to slinger or warrior. So we need to ask it which one. Finish the scout. Shift production next turn. Redirect warrior. Yep. Okay, done with that. And then we'll do that. So we'll do that and then see if there's anything else that happens next turn before we write the next prompt. And then here's more of the next steps. Summary of actions. Okay, so back in the game. We will let the scout finish producing and then queue up our next production, which we will ask ChatGPT what to do with next turn. Okay, here we go. So we need to ask it what it wants to do with the scout. Most likely scout. Probably those same kind of instructions it gave for the warrior. But we need to ask it what it wants to queue up for production, and that party will be completed next turn. So I think in the same prompt, I'll ask it what it wants to do with that. Alright, here's the next prompt. The warrior is moving back to the city and production was completed on the scout. Where and how should it move? What should be queued next to produce? The pottery tech will finish next turn. What should be queued? Alright, here's its response. Here's a detailed strategy. So scout movement. Objective. The scout should prioritize exploring nearby areas to identify potential threats, such as the barbarian encampment that the scout is returning to, and uncover valuable resources and locations for future cities. Okay, good. And it gives that idea of exploring the encampment. So recommended moves. Hopefully it gives me what it actually wants to do specifically. These are just the recommended moves, and you can pause and read through those. So next production, queue a slinger. Okay, good. Slinger is cheaper and quicker to produce than the warrior, provides range defense. That's actually a good pick. Probably what I'd pick. And even more so because if you get a kill with the slinger, you get the boost for archery. Research queue, current tech, pottery, completing next turn. Next tech to research, mining irrigation. Gives some reasons that you can read through. Detailed action plan, scout movement, city production, research progression, summary of actions, yada yada yada. The only thing I think we need to pay attention to is once pottery is completed, start researching mining to unlock resource improvements and enhance early production. Cool. So let's head back to the game and do all that. So first off, let's queue up the slinger like it said to do. It'll take 7 turns, which is normal. Next, let's think about the scout. So it gave the idea of moving to try and find the barbarian encampment, which we're guessing is over here, or to explore. If this is a hill, I'll move there. It's not. So I think we could move down to here, which is kind of in that direction, and then move across to these hills next turn, and also it will reveal what's over here. So I think here's the best tile to move to. It crosses the river also, which is good. Alright, we still have 1 movement, which we probably won't use. And then next turn, we'll move on to one of these 2 hills with the scout. The warrior is moving back, and party will be completed next turn. And it said to queue up mining. Code of Laws is taking a long time because of our low culture, but hopefully Pingal will help that once he's fully established. Next turn here.
I thought Clay must
Pottery
feel
gets
happy.
completed. Nothing else happened, so let's queue up mining like it said to do. It will take 6 turns. The scout needs to move. It can actually move over here, which is interesting. We can save the movement across the river. And I think that's a better idea, but I'll move here first, and then that way. And we'll end the turn. Okay, no barbs are appearing yet. I think the only thing to do is move the scout, which I think the best move would be to onto one of these 2 hills to hopefully reveal the barbarian encampment, which is also following what ChatGPT said to do. So 1 tile at a time. Okay, there's the scout. That's interesting. So the encampment looks like it's farther away than what we even thought. Maybe even out here. We'll keep moving the scout and hopefully gaining some experience to level it up as well. Okay, so turn 11. It says a new barbarian outpost was detected. Down to the left, also pretty close. Hopefully Taruga will head down that way, or maybe another civ over here. But remember, we have Barb Clans mode on. So we can even try buying units, warrior, cheaper than normal. I don't usually do either of these 2 unless I have a ton of extra gold. I usually just buy the warriors because they're cheaper, or buy whatever unit is here. I wouldn't mind if that flips either. It is encroaching on our land, so it will depend on what's happening over here. If there's a civ or something that we need to worry about. But because that's in the desert, it's not great land tiles anyway. And we're planning to put a city here, which could actually be a problem. We need to get that city up fast. I think I'm only going to do 1 more turn in this episode, and we'll save the big invasion for the next episode. Alright, so now that the warrior's back in the city center, but units still aren't here from the barbs, I'm not sure exactly what to do. So we're going to have to ask ChatGPT if it wants to garrison or move out in the direction of it. I also need to let ChatGPT know about this barbarian encampment, and that we have not found this one yet. But I think we're going to save that for the next episode. So thanks for watching. I'm really excited to see what's going to happen in this game. Lots happened this episode. We're up to turn 11. Looks like we're going to have some barb fighting in the next episode. We're going to finish our slinger and mining and start getting civics, which is another thing we're going to have to worry about asking ChatGPT about. So stay tuned for next episode, and thanks again for watching. See you next time.